Welcome, everybody. Well, this is Richard Ostrow. I'm the owner for Carnivora Research International. Some of you love us, and some of you don't. And for those people who don't really like us, there's something I have to tell you. You don't know what you're really missing. Now, we're not going to say that Carnivora works for every soul, because there isn't any one supplement that can do that for every person. But a great majority of people are going to derive fantastic benefits from, shall we say, waking up their immune systems by using this product. We wish that we could say a lot more in our drug-controlled country, but that's not the way it works in the United States. I think you all understand what I'm saying. Now, I'm going to mention a few things that some of you may or may not be aware of, and then we're going to open up the floor to Q&A, also known as questions and answers. So if you ask me a question about any particular disease, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to state the disclaimer in my usual frustrating manner, and we can be frustrated together. That's all I can do. For any of you FDA agents listening in tonight, welcome. But don't think you're going to get me on anything, because it isn't going to happen. Well, we're just going to tell the truth out there to the extent that we can do that, and that's it. I know there's some people who think that we have snake oil. We have very rare, nasty emails, but we do get them, and there are others who think this is the best thing on the planet. You know how that works. It's kind of an extreme reaction product. But those people who take either the capsules or the extract are going to get fantastic short-term and long-term benefits, many of which I couldn't discuss unless we were outside of the United States, which reminds me that we do ship this product to 27 countries that are a lot more free than this country. Okay, let me get to some issues here that many people have been asking. First of all, I'd like to announce that we are pursuing clinical studies as they would be known to be done in the United States. That means peer-reviewed. Now, that doesn't mean a hill of beans to me, because I don't even believe anything the FDA says. I don't know why you would, because many people lie for money. So what we're doing is we're doing clinical studies, and we're going to get the truth out there about what this product can really do. But we don't know how far we can take that. We have a group of attorneys working on this, one of which is Jonathan Emord, who happens to be the foremost constitutional attorney in the United States. And we'll see where that goes. We certainly can't do any clinical studies on matters of disease here in this country, but we know that you can enter a web page that is outside of the United States that is chock full of information that we could never have here. I suppose that one or more of our information specialists will mention that website at some point in time. We can't do it tonight, though. Which reminds me, I'm going to make an announcement before we hang up the phone. So for those of you who would like to have a special available to yourselves with the use of a promotion code, you'll be able to do that. And only those people listening tonight are going to have that code. But you certainly can tell your friends. I mean, that's fine. But the people listening in tonight are going to benefit from that. The second situation is we're announcing the pet division that has been in the making for quite some time. We've been working with pets for about 14 years, quite successfully, and we're going to concentrate on that issue when we launch our pet division. And that means any kind of animal, not just cats and dogs, but horses, tigers, birds, you name it. Whatever animal can ingest Carnivora is most likely going to benefit. But it's important for me to say that for any beloved pet that someone is trying to save because they only have a few weeks left according to their vets or whatever the case may be, this is not that kind of supplement. Although we have heard remarkable stories, and certainly it's much better to try something than not to try it, but this is not the kind of supplement that is going to turn a person or a pet or an animal around that quickly. It has been done, but it's rare. So I hope you won't consider this that kind of product. We want to tell you that Carnivora is used for a very wide variety of what we call immune challenges, because everything that we have wrong with us is an immune challenge. And that's exactly what our attorneys and us decided we would have to call these issues that we are experiencing. They're challenges of the immune system. Carnivora is manufactured solely in the United States. I said it was sold in 27 countries now. Carnivora responds only to abnormal cells instinctively. We once had a man of science send us an email and say he was very annoyed that he heard that Carnivora instinctively responds to abnormal cells. He said, how can something instinctively do that? Well, that's a bloody good question, because I don't know the answer, and I don't think anybody knows. We'll call it an act of God, if you will. I don't care what doctor comes along and tries to dissect this or that, or what PhD says this or that. It means absolutely nothing if it's working. The rest of it doesn't mean a hill of beans to me. I'm just a regular guy doing what we do. I don't need to be a PhD. I don't need people to tell me what they have to do. You know, we get this all the time. You can imagine what's going on out there. So Carnivora is only going to respond to cells that are abnormal, that don't belong in the body. I can't name those type of cells. It's prohibited here, so I can't mention that. But all you have to do is just read between the lines, and I think you know that answer. I know that you can take advantage of 17 multi-dimensional nutrients that are inherently part of this plant in their natural state that work synergistically, meaning together, to support the natural healing process, because that's the nature of a plant like this, of which there are many. This is just one of them. But this has a very wide spectrum of healing, of many different types of immune challenges. It's not specific to any one. That's hard for some people to grasp, because in our drug-controlled country, there's a drug for every malady, most of which have nothing to do with cures. It's really natural plants that do your body good, period. There's nothing you can't correct without nature. If you have nature, you can find it. You don't need toxicity. There's enough of it here. And of course, the bottom line there is money. Now, we all want to make money, but that's not what drives us. Especially me. I'm a rebel musician head. I don't even know how I got into this position. That's another story. Okay. What else do we want to tell you? We want to state the disclaimer for FDA listeners or anybody else who may already be pissed off. We want to say that we don't diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease in the United States. That doesn't mean that doesn't happen elsewhere in the world, but that's what we have to say here. We also want to mention that when people purchase our product, they can rest assured that they will receive the program instructions in the package, which will tell them exactly how to utilize the product for the type of immune challenge that they are experiencing. Case in point, let's just say that you want to stay healthy. You're not looking to get healthy in any way. You're in pretty good shape, despite the chemtrails and every other toxic thing being levied against us out there. So whatever the case may be, all you want to do is stay healthy. Well, that just requires Carnivora capsules. They're in the microgram. Capsules have a very tiny denomination, deliberately manufactured in that manner, because it was discovered many years ago by Dr. Keller, who developed Carnivora in Europe, specifically Germany, in the very early 80s and late 70s, actually. And he found out through his clinical studies, which are not acceptable here, that using a very small denomination, such as what we have in our capsules, has great wide spectrum mechanisms of action in the human body by waking up your immune system, waking up two specific cells that respond, we're not supposed to use the word attack, that respond to abnormal cells. Those are neutrophil white blood cells and natural killer cells. I'm sure many of us have heard of that. These cells go after abnormal cells that don't belong in the body. By doing that, we are, I can't use another word either, but we're staying healthy. That's something we can say. We want to stay healthy. That's one way to do it. For those people who have an intermediate or early immune challenge of some sort, who are not just looking to stay healthy, you can use Carnivora capsules just as well, but you use them in increasing doses. And you'll see that in the program instructions that we provide with the package. It tells you exactly what to do each week. All you have to do is read it. I know nobody likes to read instructions. Look, I don't like to read manuals when I figure out how to use a musical instrument. I hate it with a good passion. So either I wing it or I take instruction online because I have to see it. I don't like to read manuals. I get it, but you know what? If we're handing it to you and this product really does work, and of course we're all going to say that, aren't we? But I refuse to say that. You'll find out for yourself. We haven't been around this long in this many countries for nothing. Try it for yourself and follow the program instructions. If you elect to try it and you don't follow the program instructions, don't call us up and say, I tried the capsules and it just about killed me. Well, we want to ask you, Mr. Johnson, how did you do that? Well, I started with 5 capsules 3 times a day. You have to break in slowly. You've got to start with 1 capsule 3 times a day, Monday through Saturday. Then the second week, you go to 2 capsules 3 times a day. The third week, you go to 3 capsules 3 times a day. And if you want, you can max out at 4 capsules 3 times a day. Simple as that. You don't need to write that down because if you order the product, that comes with the package. Takes you not even 5 minutes to look at it. Not even 2 minutes. Look at it 1 week at a time if you have to break it up that way. Okay, now when it comes to advanced immune issues, that's a whole other ball game. That's when you would purchase the program, which you'll find on our website at www.carnivora.com, which is CARNIVORA.com. And where there's a link that says for more advanced immune challenges, click that and it's self-explanatory. It will tell you what programs are available to utilize. Some people aren't going to want to do it because they have to pay out of pocket. In case you haven't noticed, you're covered for insurance that will kill you with toxic substances. That's the way it works here. But if you're one of the luckier ones and you happen to have the money, I urge you to take a look at it because we didn't create it for nothing. It wasn't successful overseas many years ago for nothing. That happened many, many years before it came to this drug-controlled country. Came here in the year 2000, by the way. So Program B, as it's known, which is B1, B2, or B3, comes in 3 different versions for the length of time that you would utilize the program. And we say follow that. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you ask a question we can't answer, we're just going to have to tell you, well, you know, the FDA requires that we state that we don't diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease in the United States. That's just the way it goes. Okay, I have my cohort, Mary Ann, sitting next to me, who's controlling the turbo bridge here, so we can start asking some questions. What are you saying there? Oh, yeah. All right. So I think I've said all I'm going to say for this portion, and I'll go ahead and present a little bit more a little later. And right now, I'm going to open up the floor to any and all questions. Just keep in mind, if you ask a disease question, we're not going to get mad at you. We just won't be able to answer the question. So what you have to do to ask a question is just press *5, and then we're going to see you online, and we're going to just listen to your question and answer your question. So anybody who has a question, just click *5. We're ready when you are. Hi, it looks like we have someone from Teaneck, New Jersey. What's your name?
Russell. I'm a new user to Carnivora, and I wanted to know if the impact that I'm reading online and speaking with people that use the product, why isn't it more widely used in terms of the non-traditional, non-FDA approach of alternative therapies? You know, you have acupuncture, you have reflexology, you have chiropractic. How come they're not talking about this? Because I have people in the field that I speak with, and they're like, "Yeah, I heard about it, but it's not discussed." Why isn't that being?
Carnivora is not well liked by traditional, conventional medicine, the FDA, the USDA. We've had nothing but resistance and negative responses from every one of those types of organizations. Any doctor in the traditional medical field who wants to utilize Carnivora basically will either get his license yanked or has to keep it quiet. That's not to say that we don't have quite a few wholesale practitioners in the holistic field that use the product right now, but it's not known, which is really rather disgusting to me, because when you have something like this that comes from Europe a long time ago and is very successful, and you bring it to this, as I said before, drug-controlled country, then people are afraid to talk about it because we have a big mafia in the form of traditional medicine. They're not doctors to me. They're pushers of drugs. And while I don't dislike them as people, they're not taught in medical school how to help people. They're just pushing drugs. So it's the kind of stigma that is not acceptable in the United States. So you have to keep your mouth shut if you cure something. That's not to say that people could not mention that. They could say whatever they want online, and they do. You could find it all over the place if you know where to look online, with people talking about the tremendous positive experiences they've had. But I hope that answers your question.
It does, but I'm disappointed in the alternative mode of doctors who don't also discuss it, which is disappointing to me, because it's something that I think if they're discussing building up the immune system and through, let's call it chiropractic, or talk about acupuncture, it would be a good match, I would call it.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly, but remember the climate that we live in. This is 100% controlled by Big Pharma and the FDA. I can't even tell you the horrible things that both of them have done to keep products like ours out of the limelight, deliberately so. The FDA has even warned us that they would take us down And that isn't going to happen quite easily because we have a very high-powered attorney who's whipped them in court many times. There hasn't been a reason for them to do it yet. I'm not saying it's ever going to happen, but you have to watch everything you do here. You can't mention disease names. You can't tell people whether something works or not. When somebody calls this office and they say, well, does it work for prostate cancer? I'm sorry, man, but the FDA requires that we state that we don't diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease in the United States. Simple as that. That's the way it goes here. Now, on the other side of the coin, a part of it is, I'm going to say it's our fault, because we don't have peer-reviewed clinical studies completed in the United States. Now, when they are completed in 12 to 15 months, we're hiring a PR firm to spread that news everywhere. There's nothing that anyone or anybody else is going to do about it. Now, we're not mentioning disease names, but the word is going to get out in a very, very positive manner when that happens. And it isn't going to happen until then, because we can't say a word, especially because we don't have clinical studies that are U.S.-based to back it up. And we totally understand that. At the same time, we have clinical studies from outside the United States that are not considered peer-reviewed as they would here, which are no better or worse. It's just they're not acceptable. Plus, they mention diseases, so we can't use them. I hope that answers your question.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay. Can we help anybody else? Are these all questions?
Hello.
Okay. I see Doyle, Suzanne Doyle.
Yes.
From Atlanta.
Yes.
Hi, Suzanne.
Atlanta.
And thanks for coming today. What's your question?
It's kind of twofold. One, are these products totally safe to use with, say, a geriatric patient and or a child?
100% yes. This product has never harmed a single soul ever.
Okay.
There was an article that came out of Germany years ago that Dr. Keller, who developed this product, was accused of killing a patient who he had performed hypothermia on, which is heating up the body to kill cancer cells. At the same time, he used Carnivora. The patient, unfortunately, didn't make it, and the German government took him to court. He won the case, though. Fact of the matter is, this is a plant that is non-toxic to humans and animals and can't harm a soul. I don't care whether you're 2 years old or 102. Doesn't make a bit of difference. It cannot harm you. Just make sure you follow the program instructions accordingly. You don't want to start it too heavily because it's a powerful product, and it can cause die-off that happens too quickly, and you're going to feel lousy. You could feel lousy. So you follow the program instructions, and that's as simple as that.
All right, sir, thank you. And the other question would be, is there any issue taking this product if, I won't mention a condition, but I have a friend who is, on several different medications, and I purchased some of this from you when y'all did your webinar about a year and a half ago, and I spoke with you then. And I'm dying for her to take it, but she's very oriented away from natural alternatives, and she is afraid.
Oh, well, she must be from the United States.
Yeah, really.
I can't help you on that one. You're never going to turn someone around like that.
I just wondered if we know of any interaction, or that it would be better to do this straight up without any other drugs in the system.
No. Well, if you ask me, I wouldn't touch drugs because you don't need a single drug to help yourself. Anything comes from nature is all you need. So, yeah, she can certainly use this with any drugs or foods.
Okay.
It's not beneficial to do that because that's not helping somebody. I mean, if they're predisposed towards being a drug user, then A, they either live here or B, they live here. I can't help you on that one. I mean, I have my own problems in my own bloody family, for crying out loud, and, you know, that's more than I even care to discuss. So, but she certainly can use it without any contraindications at all.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, and thank you for doing this.
You're quite welcome. Thank you for your questions.
Yes, you have a blessed day.
Thank you. Let's go to a cell phone user in Minnesota. Okay. Fergus
Falls?
Yes. Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Hi, how are you? Thanks for being with us today. How can I help you?
Hi. Thank you for what you do, sir. I'm not going to mention my challenge, but I have an advanced challenge, and I was on antibiotics for 2 years, and I have a paper in front of me that tells me to take 4 capsules of Carnivora. Now, tell me, would the liquid be more potent for me? Because I do have a challenge here.
Okay, well, as I mentioned before, if it's categorized as an advanced immune challenge, you're better off with the liquid extract and the capsules together, which are described on how you should take it in what you have. So that's what you should use. I mean, we also have lymph drainage and DMSO, which are part of what's known as Program B for advanced immune challenges. So that's what you should do if you're experiencing that.
Okay, now on that DMSO, it says if you're using any toxic substances, don't take it. Can you please explain that to all of us?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to tell you that the FDA hates DMSO because it's so bloody good. Anything that's good, they want to keep out of your hands. I can't say much about DMSO. I'm actually prohibited, but let me say this. When you take DMSO, it really helps with absorption of whatever is in your body. So if you're taking toxic substances like drugs or foods of any kind that are harmful to your body, DMSO is going to exacerbate the absorption, and that's not a good thing. So that's why we say you don't use DMSO unless you are not taking toxic substances of any kind.
No, I know this is probably not a good thing to say. I was talking about cigarettes or tobacco or stuff like that.
Well, tobacco is another FDA-approved substance that killed my mother. So I'm not a lover of tobacco. So, you know, tobacco is a disaster. I don't know what you want me to say about that.
In other words, you can't use the DMSO if you smoke.
Well, you know, you can, and some people have negative reactions because they're so toxic that you wake up toxicity too quickly. I would say to you, don't use DMSO. Program B comes with or without DMSO for a reason.
Right.
So I would not use DMSO if you're a smoker.
Okay, so the lymph drainage now, I don't know how to quote this question.
Okay.
Can you use it? Can you use it if you've had a mastectomy? I mean, can you use lymph drainage?
Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, you have lymph nodes all over your body. I mean, just because you let doctors take part of your body away in this nutty country doesn't mean you can't use that. I mean, that's highly beneficial because things that you put in your body here are highly toxic for the most part. Unless you eat organically all the time. I mean, lymph drainage is a wonderful product. It's one of the 4 products we carry, and for a bloody good reason.
Okay. The reason I'd asked because I had 11 of them removed. So I'm sure I've got tons more. You know,
I can't make any comments about any medical condition or situation that you have, but I can tell you that using lymph drainage is used to stimulate, drain, and continuously cleanse your lymphatic system from head to toe. It doesn't matter where you may have had lymph nodes or not.
Okay, so I am going to, I guess the program for me would be B1.
Or B2. Yeah, whichever one you want. Yep, absolutely so.
Okay, well, I hope it helps because 2 years antibiotics nearly killed me.
No comment.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say something negative, and I'm not going to go there. But you're in the right place to use Program B. You follow it just like the paper says.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your question.
Okay, you have a great day, and thank you for what you do. God bless you.
Oh, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have Richard in Middletown, Connecticut, who's been holding for a good 8 minutes. Hi, Richard.
Hi, this is actually Cindy for Richard.
Oh, hi, Cindy. Well, Richard has a great name. Okay, go ahead.
He wants to know, and this is probably a illegal use of a question, about if he has some tissue that's diseased, and he wants to know if this product will what's that, Richard?
You know I can't answer a question like that. We can't answer questions like that in this country. I don't care how he phrases it, what way he says it. Mm-hmm. We can't talk about things like that in this drug-controlled mess.
Right here.
Okay, well, you can tell him thank you, but let me put it a different way. Tell him to read between the lines when I said Carnivora responds to all abnormal cells. Now, is he talking about abnormal cells?
Yeah.
Okay, end of story. It's
Thank you.
Simple. You're quite
all right, and I forgot, but your name must be Richard also.
Yes. Thank you.
Bless.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, we have a cell phone caller from Tacoma, Washington. Hello.
Yes. Hello. My name is Heather. Hi. Heather. I have been using, my husband and I have been using Carnivora for a little over a year now. 3 years ago, he got very, very ill. And, of course, allopathic medicine could not help him. Just put him on 10 rounds of antibiotics. Yeah, just put him on 10 rounds of antibiotics in a year and wiped out his immune system even more.
That's unusual.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And so what we're dealing with now is that he's probably about 90% better. But one of the things, we did put him on protocol. I can't remember which program B we put him on. And granted, he was much more sick then than he is now. But one of the things that we are still dealing with is a hyper overstimulated Th2 pathway. And so my question for you is, when we have an overstimulated, too many antibodies being produced, what program would the capsules be most advisable, or would putting him back on one of the program Bs be something?
No, he really needs to follow something. He's got to follow something from program B. This is something it's of a chronic nature. It's not something that's just been around for several weeks or even several months. I'm getting the feeling it's been around a lot longer than that.
Yeah, just 3 years ago it all started.
Yeah. He should absolutely do the extract, and he should follow the extract dosage. If he doesn't take it up all the way, he can take it up at least halfway, if not more, because that is where he gets the most immunomodulatory action. Having immune modulation means that an overactive immune system is going to be brought down to a more normal existence with the body. Or if it's underactive, in the case of allergies, the same thing will happen. It'll be brought up to a par that is even with the body, and so it'll normalize over time. That's what I can tell you. Using the extract with the capsules, in place of the extract every 5 weeks. Let me explain, in case nobody's really sure about why that's done. We know that when you take something week in and week out, or month in and month out for long periods of time, the body develops some kind of resistance to it. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything from deadly chemo to a plant that heals your body. But the body manufactures a resistance to it, not necessarily in a negative way, but it's not as effective. So in order to prevent that resistance from occurring, you take the capsules in place of the extract every 5 weeks. Every 5th week, just like the program instructions tell you. A lot of people would rather skip over that as if that's something tormentuous. I don't get it. I'm not one of those kind of people, naturally, but follow that bloody program is what we can tell you. It's there for a very good reason.
Okay,
that's
now,
my best advice.
Okay, is it just that the extract is more bioavailable in a different way than the
No,
capsule?
it's more powerful. It's more powerful
okay, so it is more
because the capsules are in the microgram, which uses the immune system, which wakes up natural killer cells and neutrophil white blood cells to go after abnormal cells in the body, whereas the extract is much more powerful and goes after those particular abnormal cells directly. And there's a lot more to it that we couldn't even begin to talk about here in this country anyway.
I know. Germany does great things. Okay, perfect. And then if I may, I just noticed from listening to some of the questions that have been popping up that you cannot answer. I think one of the things that might help people in understanding is that if you give the body the right raw material, it knows what to do with it, and it will heal, restore, and repair it on its own. It's just a matter of putting the right raw material in there.
Right, which is rampantly not what goes on in this country. It's not designed for that. But, yes, that's the answer. You treat your body well, you win.
Yep. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I will put him back on that program B, and I thank you again for this fantastic product, and thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, we have Jacqueline from Wexford, Pennsylvania. Are you there, Jacqueline?
Actually, you have John. That's my wife.
Oh, hi, John.
Okay.
This is Richard. How are you today?
Yeah, okay.
How can I help you today?
Okay, I'm going to get right to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had a weak immune system right from the get-go. I was born, I had pneumonia, many bouts of pneumonia in my early part of my life. And
I got to stop you, John. You can't mention any disease in the United Drug States. So when you mention a disease, the FDA requires that we say that we don't diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease in the United States. That's just a formality we have to do.
I got you. I won't mention it anymore. Okay, so throughout all these years, I've gone to many doctors, medical and natural. I've tried many things, supplements, good from reputable companies, most bioavailable supplements. Have yet to find anything that really made me feel any better. Those supplements being things such as, I guess I can at least mention this, just whether just your good multiple to a good green supplement to fish krill oils, enzymes, probiotics, stuff like that.
Right.
To mention, and anyway, actually, I was considering something that I may have not tried, such as creatine, nitric oxide, or another high potent fish oil omega. But again, I don't want to just be throwing darts at things. I mean, I want to find something that works, and I don't want to waste. I want to simplify a supplement regimen as well. So I don't know if trying this product, could I eliminate some of those others or all of those others?
Well, let me tell you what I practice and preach myself. I mean, I use my own product. I've used it for, the 14 years I've been the owner of this company. The other aspect of what I do is I use very intense greens. It's called Bio Superfood. Caution, it's rather expensive, but I'll tell you something. I never felt better in my life, and I've had a really rough year. I lost my father. I had a lot of family problems, but I got through it in flying colors. I still work out at 60 years old. I'm in good shape because I take care of myself. So what I'm really trying to say is that by using a product like Carnivora, And that's not the only product I use, but that certainly is going to use my immune system and then even further to protect myself against the growth or attack of abnormal cells. I also look at the nutritional aspect of my diet, and that's where I use this Bio Superfood product, which is about all your bloody need. I mean, you can go out there all day and you can listen to Dr. Sinatra, Dr. Oz, Doctor. I mean, everybody has something they want to hawk. The truth is, if you have a tremendously good green product, I'll say it again, Bio Superfood, F3, that's all you need, because it has every nutrient known to man in it. It's organic, it's non-toxic. You know, that's the bottom line. You know, do you need all these other things? I couldn't say. You know, I'm not doctor here, but I will tell you that if you wake up your immune system, and maybe you're talking about the extract for you, it sounds like something that has been around quite a while, and the pure liquid extract is what I would look into first. Along with these types of greens, that covers huge numbers of bases. Both of them do. So I hope that helps.
No, it did. No, I have tried greens before, but I know this is a specific greens that you're mentioning. Is that something that you carry, or is that something that I would have to?
No, that's something that I use personally for myself.
Oh, okay.
You can find it online under Bio Superfood F as in Frank, F3, which is the most potent product that Bio Superfood carries.
Okay.
Something.
Yeah.
To
So
consider.
I think what you're saying is like you that may be all you would need to take instead of taking all these individual bottles of this and that and everything else and running up the bill, and maybe you could simplify it, and maybe that's all you would need.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking to do, because not just for expense-wise, but just to make life a little simpler as far as a regimen, making it easier.
Right.
Now, do you think dealing like something like I'm dealing with? I'm not going to mention it, but my issues are mainly fatigue and along with pain, and I don't know if something like creatine or like a nitric oxide would do me any good, or am I just wasting my time and money?
Well, I'm not sure why you're considering those products. I mean, number one, you want to wake up your immune system in a big way, and number two, you want to get superior nutrition. It doesn't get any better than those two aspects of dietary existence.
Right. And what you're saying makes sense, and maybe that's what I just need to go to that plan instead of these other things that may help other people. But
well, I'm a walking testimonial to that. I can tell you. I walk the walk. Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to sell you anything here.
No,
I'm telling you, the greens are the way to go.
Yeah. I believe in that too. And I will check that out. And as far as an actual regimen for myself, if I was to go the carnivore route, I guess that would be, I would find that out if I had actually ordered the product, and then they would walk me through a plan. Or how would that work?
Well, you're going to receive the package regarding how to use the pure liquid extract by looking at Program B, and that's all you have to do is just follow it week by week. It's right there.
Okay, so is the capsules part of this program, or is this just the extract that I would be taking?
Well, that depends on, your financial capability.
Okay.
We would say you should get the capsules with it, because every fifth week you want to replace the extract with the capsules for the reasons that I mentioned. And if you've had something that's been of a chronic nature, I certainly would go that route.
If I can.
Now, you're probably asking, gee, I wonder if this stuff works. Like I said, we haven't been around the world for this many years in many countries for nothing. We don't get there because we're selling snake oil like some people have accused us of doing. I imagine we're getting that from conventional medicine. I don't know. But, once in a while we'll get an email. We should sue you. You're selling snake oil. It's silly, ridiculous. I can't even comprehend what goes on.
I'm well aware of what you're talking about and going through and how they're trying to stop you. And I'm all about going the natural route. And this makes, perfect sense. And it's something I've yet to try. I've only heard about it. I'm trying to, get educated on it. And I'm, hoping if things financially, I'll be able to swing it and give it a shot. I think it'd be well worth trying it. And
I would like to hear from you after you're on it for 4 or 5 months, and then you tell me.
Okay. Sounds good. All
right. Thank you very much for coming today.
Okay, thank you. All right, bye now.
Thank you. Okay, we're now going to speak to Heidi in, is that San Francisco, California? Heidi?
It is Berkeley, California.
Oh, okay, Berkeley. Hi, Heidi. How are you today?
Hi. I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
So what's up today?
Just a couple of small questions.
Sure.
The first program for early challenges to immune system, when there are lots of capsules to be taken, like in weeks 5, 6, or 7, can one substitute the extract and can use the extract instead of the capsules?
Well, sure you can. You don't need to do that, but you can do that. Now, let's be clear. The capsules in the extract are not the same. People ask, well, how many capsules equal 50 drops of extract? You can't equate one with the other. They work by 2 different mechanisms of action. The capsules, once again, are in the microgram, and they wake up the immune system, many different cells of the immune system, to have a positive action on cleaning up abnormal cells, whereas the pure extract will work directly against the abnormal cell. And in addition to that, it wakes up the immune system just as well. But the extract is for more potent experiences, more potent immune challenges.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes. And second question is, would you consider shingles to be an early challenge or a... I can't
answer a question like that. Shingles is a medical condition, and I can't address that in this drug-controlled country. Sorry. So we have to say that we don't diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease in the United Drug States.
Yeah, I'm not asking for a diagnosis, just a classification.
Can't answer that question.
Can't answer the question. Okay.
No, not in this country. Well, let me put it differently. We can tell you that outside the United States, people have ordered Carnivora for that purpose for as long as it's been around.
But would you consider it an early challenge or a middle challenge? Because this type of program depends on what kind of how you.
I don't know because I don't know what it is, and you can't tell me. Isn't that frustrating? I don't know. So how long have you had your immune issue?
Well, it's not me, but it's for 2 or 3 weeks.
You've had it for 2 or 3 weeks?
Right.
Okay, well, that's not a long-term chronic condition. So basically, if it's not considered advanced, you could use the capsules only in increasing doses, which is known as Program A2. It's not 3 capsules a day, which you would take to stay healthy, but this is utilizing capsules in increasing weekly dosages, as you must know.
Right.
But you can still use the extract for a while, and then you can revert to the capsules again if you wanted to do it that way as well.
Okay. You've answered my questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, remember, just press *5 if you have a question. And we have another question from a cell phone caller in Newport Beach, California. Hi, may we help you?
You jump in. That's all you, brother, man.
Hello, can you hear me? This is Bruce.
Hi, Bruce. This is Richard. How can I help you today?
Hey, Richard. I've been on the Carnivora for about 2 months, and I just sort of picked up from one of your last calls about backing off on the liquid extract after 5 weeks. So how long should I back off on the extract?
You have the program instructions, correct?
Yeah, and I don't recall it telling me specifically to do that. I guess I missed that.
Yeah, it does say that. Every 5 weeks, you just take the capsules Monday through Saturday in place of the extract. And Sunday, you're going to have a day of rest that week. What's that?
Okay, so you just do that for 1 week.
That's it. Every 5th week. Week 5, week 10, week 15, week 20.
I see.
As long as you're on the program.
Okay. And can I ask you if you've heard of any testimonials about my particular situation?
Well, you can't tell me what your situation is. No, it's not legal in this country. If it helps you, it's not legal in the United States.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I have and then just make a comment.
Yeah, you can't tell me that. But let me put it this way. This is applicable to a great wide variety of immune conditions. So if it involves abnormal cells, that ought to tell you exactly what you need to know.
Yeah.
You just follow the program in accordance with the severity of your immune condition, and that's what we're talking about right there.
Yeah. Okay. And what is the maximum that you, I'd have to go back to read the sheet again. What is the maximum point where you get on doing the extract? Like right now, I was doing 3 capsules 3 times a day, and I was doing 2 eyedroppers full of the extract. And so now I'm going to...
That's not the program. I guess you know that. That's not how the program goes. But the maximum number of drops of extracts, let's say week 10 is what?
Because I think it's basically around 15 drops, I think, for a dropper full.
It's 25 to 30 drops week 10 when you take the extract the 10th week, for example. It's all in the program. It tells you exactly what to do.
Right. Now,
there's a rhyme and a reason behind every bit of it. Sorry?
How many drops do you think are in a full dropper?
About 600. Oh, in a dropper.
Yeah, in the...
About 20 to 25 drops in a full dropper.
Yeah, so I got, I did the ramping up, with the 1 and counting the drops and everything, and then it just got to the point where it seemed to be 2 full droppers full. And so that's what I did. I understand.
Are you following program A or B here?
I'm not sure, but it's for a pretty challenged immune system.
Well, are you taking the extract Monday through Saturday?
Yes. And
okay, so you're on program B. Well, you shouldn't be taking the capsules. You should not be taking the capsules Monday through Saturday. You take the capsules on Sundays and every 5th week.
Okay. I was taking the capsules every day along with the tincture.
I know. Yeah. You're being a bad boy. You're overdoing it. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
And more is not better. Yeah, I would just take a look at it.
I'll read my sheet again.
Yes, please do.
Okay, thanks for your time.
Oh, thank you for being here today. I appreciate that.
Sure thing.
You got it. Okay, we have EP in Baldwin, Kansas. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. We
Hi.
have used your product a couple years ago, and we noticed this time that you have a change in your protocol. That before it was you held the drops under your tongue, and now you mix them with water.
That.
Pardon?
It was never that. We never had a protocol like that where you put the drops under your tongue.
Really?
It was always put them in 4 ounces of water and drink it. I'll tell you the reason for that. Number one, it's not any better. So anybody who has the mistaken idea that if you put it under your tongue, it has better access, it's not the case at all with this product. This product really gets into your system in every part of your body when you take it the way we ask you to take it in 4 ounces of non-tap water.
Uh-huh.
So there's no need to do it under your tongue. And number two, you're going to contaminate it when you take it under your tongue. So it's not necessary whatsoever to do it that way.
Okay, can you put the lymph drainage, the DMSO, and the Carnivora drops all in the same glass of water?
Yeah, that's exactly what the program tells you to do.
Okay.
Week by week, it tells you exactly what to do.
Have you ever heard of the power plate?
No, I can't say I have.
Well, you stand on it and it vibrates. All the NFL teams and sports teams and stuff use them to help their athletes recover. It's from injuries, and it stimulates your immune system. Can you use the power plate along with the lymph drainage, or would that be overkill?
You know, I don't really know the answer to that, but I'm going to say there's zero harm in doing that, and I don't believe it's overkill. Not in this country. I mean, there's so many organizations looking to toxify us with money. You have to watch every move you make, so nothing is ever too much to me. So you can take lymph drainage and you can stand on the plate and do whatever you want. It's only going to be good.
Okay. Is there any place, website, or that we can look up immune challenges and have them named? And
I can't tell you that.
You can't.
I can't tell you that because if I have somebody from the FDA listening, they're going to accuse me of making claims. And then we give them a reason to try to take us down, which just ain't going to happen. So, do you know any sites you can go to? Well, there is a site we could tell you to go to that I know people write in and they mention the problems they've had, which have nothing to do with us. It's called Supplement Geek. But they're going to be talking about how we don't have peer-reviewed clinical studies, and they don't shut up about peer-reviewed clinical studies, which are garbage anyway, because the truth doesn't come out around here. It's hard to find in this country. But you can go to supplementgeek.com, is it? And you'll find a moderator by the name of Joe, and he has quite a few people who have written in with all kinds of maladies, and they mention what they are. And you'll find them. It's a pretty big page, so you have to look.
Okay.
Some of it's negative, some of it's positive. The negativity is we don't have clinical studies here, but we already knew that a long time ago. The positive side is people have been calling in defending Carnivora pretty belligerently, and rightly so. So you can find a lot of that on that site.
Okay. One of the other callers mentioned, and I think you answered that you build up a tolerance. If we had tried this, we had done this protocol a couple of years ago. Is there any? Will it work the same the next?
Oh yeah, it'll have no effect. No, there's no negative effect from what you did a couple of years ago. It really has to do with taking the extract week in and week out for many months, which we prevent. We don't have you do that. Every 5th week, if you follow the program, you take the capsules in place of the extract to prevent the sameness of taking the extract. So you're fine in that regard.
Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome. Helpful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, remember to hit *5 if you have a question. Let's take a look and see who we have here. Now we have somebody in Huntertown, Indiana. Are you there with us? Huntertown, Indiana. We know you've been waiting 7 minutes. Hi, how are you?
Am I on?
You are. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you? I just had a quick question.
Good.
Starting to
sure.
Look into Carnivora, and what I need to know is I didn't know. You've got the programs B1, B2, B3, and that's on the severity of your condition.
Well, no, it doesn't have to do with the severity as far as B1, B2, and B3. They're all the same. They're just different lengths of time, which give you different options to purchase.
Okay.
B1, B2, and B3 are all the same. It's just that B1 is about 6 weeks worth of products, and B2 is 11 or so weeks, and B3 is 21 weeks.
Well, that's a great thing, because I thought, how are you going to know which one to get? So, okay.
No, it's up to you. You can, if you have enough money, you buy B2 or B3, and if you want to just start and do it incrementally, you buy B1.
Okay. Well, that's great then. That was basically my question. So thank you very much, and thank you for doing
Oh, okay. I'm glad I can answer that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sure. All right, where is it? Now we're going to Boise, Idaho, and is Janice with us?
Hello?
Hi. This is Janice, or this is Janice's husband or boyfriend?
Her husband, many years.
Oh, hi. How are you?
My name is Terry, and I thank you. Thank you for getting on the air and making this knowledge available, particularly in the environment we're living in this drug infest.
Thanks for saying that.
My question or statement is that I went to a doctor with an immune system situation, and they want to do massive surgery and chemotherapy and radiation, and I elected not to. So I went into a combination of the Carnivora and another product. I don't know if you've heard of it. The gentleman sounds very much like you, the way he talks. Protandim.
Poor guy. Protandim. I have heard of it. I don't know much about it, though.
It's got like 8 peer reviews in this country, and they've had to, watch the FDA and everything else, and I used the green superfoods, and I have to say that, if I'd had that surgery, I'd have been laid wide open. I can't say the disease. Reading
well, you know how it works in this country. Yeah.
But I've had a 50% shrinkage using the cocktail of Protandim, Carnivora, Easiac, and the green foods that you were talking about. So
you're on the right track, my friend. I use Easiac concentrate myself.
And I tell you, it was so hard to get on that green diet and stay off of other things, but I guess it works. But I went through a cyclical up and down as far as energy, because being weak and tired and having another thing, sleep apnea, going along with it, so I can't ever isolate which one's causing the problem. But I tell you what, using those Protandim and Carnivora and the diet that you spoke about, I felt better, and I've been dealing with some health issues that go back and had removed out of the brain, and then another site, and then so I went on to massive. I kind of overdid it at the beginning with the Carnivora. It was first thing I started, then Protandim, and then the diet. And for other people out there, I can say that I can tell the difference when I had a lag on not having the Carnivora. When I didn't have it, I really noticed the difference, and I felt, well, I couldn't decide if I was in the advanced group or not just preventative or prophylactic situation. So I moved up to finally 12 capsules, but I started too fast, and people should listen to you about how to ease into it, because, boy, I tell you, when you jump up and you think small amounts is good and greater is better, your support people calling in, they are very knowledgeable and very great to talk to, and very great in explaining the instructions, and to adhere to those instructions like you're telling the people, because it's very, very important because I did too much and I was feeling lousy. And when I listened to your people that answer the phone to guide you on the instructions, when I backed off and started then build up, a tremendous difference. And I just want to thank
you. Couldn't have said it better, my friend. I'm such a frustrated guy. I can't tell you how many times I have been correcting people, because the mindset of the average person in this country is they don't believe a single thing you're saying. A lot of people are being taken advantage of, both financially and for other reasons, and this is a pretty rotten environment to believe somebody in, I can tell you that. So here we come, telling everybody, do it this way. We swear, do it this way. Please do it this way. They don't want to hear it. And some people learn the hard way, and some people don't. But it's not an easy deal.
I have a substantial medical background, and I about died here in Boise, Idaho, and went to Stanford. Then came back and got this another diagnosis years later. And then what I started putting these cocktails together, the Protandim and the Carnivora and the diet that you talk about in the Easy Act Tea. But I made a tremendous difference. I made a lot of people angry with the choices not going to the traditional.
Here's my answer to that. Tough, you know what.
That's right. But I would have been in a real mess. And so people listening to you and realizing that your support group is really phenomenal, and explaining the instructions, and to listen to you as far as how to ease into it, and the dosages, as you've figured out, are very, 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 very important. And I appreciate you having the guts to come out in this country and present to people like myself some kind of hope, other than the traditional methods that have so much toxicity and side effects, and the death rate is substantially high in the therapeutic areas that they want you to go in. But I noticed that you will be a target of everybody out there, and I did the research. I spent over 100 hours researching Carnivora and Protandim, and tried to find the peer reviews of Carnivora in Europe, and Helmut Keller, the German individual that developed this, and all the way back to what you said about being diluted with water when President Reagan took it. But you guys are fantastic that you hold out hope and put yourself as a target out there for society to be attacked on something that the clinical research all makes scientific sense. And unfortunately, the layman out there is going to be discouraged because they don't have the medical background enough to do the research. And I don't know if you can put your research out there that they can look up, that the average man or woman can read it in layman's term, that they can understand it. But it's there, and it makes total sense to get in there to get the NFR2 and the survival genes and attack cells. And the other things are just a Band-Aid approach, and then you live with hope and have a funeral.
Well, right. I hope there is some kind of retribution for people who kill other people. I sincerely hope that it does exist. Other than being angry, I'll let that one go for today. But you're 100% right. It's not an easy street with the climate the way it is here in this country. But
you're being very humble in your approach this evening, saying that you don't have that much medical background, but I can tell that you've done your due diligence and homework on your product. You're just not an owner that's just trying to rake in money off a product that, they have all these ones from the desert and the Himalayas and all that, and they're fads. They don't have the scientific basis that Carnivora or Protandim has, and I really thank you for having the guts and the homework you've done, the due diligence, and having the guts to put this on this evening and knowing that people are listening, trying to attack you. But please don't ever give up, because it's one of the last hopes we have, because when that immune system goes, there's nothing that you can do. You just may delay a funeral, that's all, with traditional medications. And that has brought them in billions of dollars just to extend the life 6 weeks, 6 months, or a year, and they just use more money, but eventually they end up dying of the side effects of the medications, and not actually the disease. It's higher with the side effects.
Well, I'm going to blame the people for that, because they run to Big Pharma and enrich them. That's where all their money comes from. Their money comes from the people. So the people are enriching Big Pharma to continue to maim and kill them. There's no other way to say it. That's exactly what's happening. And if I could wake up the world, I wish there was a way I could do it, but it ain't going to happen in my lifetime.
Well, you've awoken quite a few people, and I think you've kind of parked your seat with God. I think you've got that. I did my homework on the FDA and people switching positions, following the money, and so many of these people that were in government ended up being on the board of pharmaceuticals after they got out of there.
That's par for the course.
And they slam products like yours, and an immune system is a natural state in our body, and you're addressing that versus doing the band-aid approach, and I'm very impressed. And I say for anybody that has an immune system challenge, and I've been in a very severe immune system challenge, and I have not felt this good in 20 years. So I've been
terrific. I'm very glad to hear it.
And I really personally want to thank you as a man, as a person with a human heart, and person that cares, because I know it's not easy to be a target in this country. So I know you're not just doing it for the cause of money, but a sincere.
No, I'm a hippie musician. I'm not that kind of materialistic kid. I'm a different animal altogether.
Well, I from the same generation as you are. So
good for you.
But again, I think that what you're doing is phenomenal, and if people don't take advantage of it when they are faced with such tragic things, because I don't care what you have, if the immune system is not working from your endocrine glands to your individual cells, that immune system is something that can do what the Carnivora does for people like me that were facing death. I have to say that the doctors are mystified that I had the guts with my medical knowledge, and which I am. I don't going to go into deep issue about or where I graduated from or what degree I got, because I don't need the hassle from people. But I have to say, my prognosis and diagnosis was not good, and when I've had a 50% shrinkage in 100 days, that's significant.
Terrific. That's all I can say. It's just wonderful. So I'm really glad to hear it.
And thank you for the guts to take it on and being careful, because we don't want to lose this product. And I hope these people understand why you can't answer the specific questions, and respect you for that, and respect the idea that you have the guts to do what you're doing right now. And I thank you very much, and thank you for the development getting it into this country. So you have a great evening.
For everything you've said.
And I'm going to listen to the rest of you, and I hope that I have had some kind of influence on people that are facing some really immune challenges like I am. I don't think you can get any higher than what I had.
Terrific. So thank you very much, Terry. Wonderful words. Glad you said it.
Well, I mean them sincerely, because at my stage in life, there's no reason for me to patronize you or to BS people out there, because Once you face life or death, things don't matter. You don't care about impressing people, patronizing people. Oh, the greatest thing that you want, which I've always had an insatiable desire for, I want to make decisions on the truth. And
the truth is a foreign issue these days, and getting to it can really enlighten people, especially for the sake of their health.
Well, I thank you for bringing the truth out in this and making this available for people like me.
You're quite welcome. I'm happy to do it.
A great evening, and I hope the rest of the callers and people who are listening that they will take an advantage of it, because compared with the amount that you have to pay for serious immune system deficiencies is far, and you've made this affordable. And I thank you for that.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Any time. Thanks,
all righty. Do you have a website that people can get a hold of you?
Yeah, just go to www.carnivora.com. That's spelled CARNIVORA.com. Carnivora.com.
I've got that. That's how I got to off of the coast to coast. Is I accidentally was taking my clothes off after coming back from the doctors, making that decision that night. It was just almost like fate. The advertisement of Carnivora came on, and I heard it on George Norrie's program on Coast to Coast, and I said, my God, this is exactly what I'm facing. So I wrote down the number and called it, and I next day called in and started on that Carnivora and that Protandim. You might want to look up Protandim. I think you will be quite amazed from Dr. Joseph McCord. He won the Elliott Crescent Award. Very few people have won that award. I mean, people like Madame Curie but they're like you, and you sound like the gentleman that I talked to represents Protandim. Your guys' passion and their protection against the FDA. You're motivated by not money but care. And you're at a war with the rest of society to get us something like this that can help our health situation. But it's super germane that your listeners and people follow your instructions, because I didn't, and I felt bad, and I thought, well, maybe I shouldn't take it. And when I went back to the proper dosage, I started feeling better, and I feel better now. And I'm only 50% shrinkage, and I feel better than I've had in the last 20 years. And so, if that's not a testimony from somebody that's come from the medical field that this is not a BS or a fad or just a multi-level or something like that, they'll be hurting themselves and be making their own mistake that they'll regret the rest of their lives while they have a life, when they've got something like this that really can help their immune system and they can fight it naturally. So thank you. You
Very
guys
well said, Terry.
You guys have a great evening, and thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I thank God that you were placed on this earth and had been directed to go this route, because it's sure a far route from which you started and you traveled.
No doubt about it. Thanks again, Terry. Wonderful words. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Terry. Okay, who we got now? Okay, from Las Vegas, Nevada, we have L.
Davidson.
Right, I don't want to say your last name there. How are you?
Okay.
I can help you today, sir.
On a immunosuppressant drugs that are needed for transplant conditions, does Carnivora have any negative effect?
None whatsoever. It doesn't contraindicate anything whatsoever. Actually, I don't believe in immunosuppressant drugs. It's the wrong way to do something. It's taking unnatural medicines and depressing your immune system, because they believe that having your immune system normalized makes your body reject something. I just never believed in that philosophy, and I'm dead right. Back to what I was saying, I'm not going to say you can rely on Carnivora solely because we can't make claims regarding any medical conditions. But we have never heard of anyone suffering in any negative way who has had a transplant who has taken Carnivora. Carnivora is not an immune booster. It's an immune modulator. That's a world of difference. Modulating the immune system takes an overactive or an underactive immune system and normalizes it in harmony with the body. It creates a homeostasis, if you will. And that cannot harm you. It can only help you. So it doesn't cause a greater or more active immune system to become more active. It's not an immune booster. So I hope that answers your question.
It does, and I must say that I was a Carnivora customer, satisfied customer before my current condition, and thank you very much.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Remember to click *5 if you have a question. And we're looking for a few more people with some questions. And go back where? Do we have anybody from Newport Beach who has any further questions? Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
I already spoke to you, but
we see that you still have further questions. Do you have any more questions we can answer?
There was one I'm trying to think of what it was. I was also taking Protandim with the Carnivora as well. But since I last spoke to you a few minutes ago, I went and got the sheet and started looking to see where it does say on the 5th week to just do the extract. So I'll go back and place another order because I kind of zipped through all the stuff quicker because I thought I was doing the correct procedure. So I'll have to order some more. And so I'll just sort of pick it up on, say, the 4th week protocol and continue from then on. Oh, here's my question. Can you take the extract and put it in like natural vegetable juice, like 4 ounces?
You could, but, is it organic vegetable juice?
It's like beet, carrot, parsley, celery.
Yeah, you can
ginger,
do that
and
if
ginger.
You wish.
Yeah,
you can do that, certainly. Yep.
Great. That's all I needed to know because that's what I do. I just throw it in my juice, and it's wonderful.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we have another caller with a question from Everett, Washington.
Hi, this is Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth. Thanks for coming today. How can we help you?
It's been a good call. I'm wondering about pets. If there's a ratio of, like, the pills are for someone 150 pounds or something I could use to ratchet it down to my 10 or 15-pound cats.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, for every weight class of each of your animals, we have a program instruction for the exact weight class that your pet is categorized for. Okay. So, for example, if the cat is, let's just say, between 9 and 12 pounds, we'll send you that program instruction. So you'll get the exact instruction that applies. So
that's a separate category to order.
That's right. And we want to mention that this Carnivora is used in the same exact manner. It's taken differently and in different amounts, but it's the same product. It's not a pet version. It's the same product, and that's a good thing because it works in a majority of cases.
Yeah. Okay. I hadn't read on the website for a while, and I was just had so far ordered one bottle of capsules that I was just kind of taking, just for general purposes.
Okay, very good.
So
Any other questions?
I'll reorder.
Okay, well, thank you for that. I want to announce the fact that we're going to give people a promotion to buy 2 bottles of caps and get one free. Now, the code you want to use when ordering online for the buy 2, get 1 free is WC2. That stands for Webcast, WC2, the number 2, WC2. So you can either call us at 1-866-836-8735 and use that code, or you can purchase the product online at Carnivora.com and use the code WC2. Okay, that will give you 2 bottles of capsules for every one that you buy. There's no limit. Now, this is good until Friday night at midnight. So you have a good couple of days to take advantage of this. Okay? Anybody who has not remembered the code, just ask again, and we'll reiterate that before we close out. Okay, and we are looking for some more people with a couple of questions. Press star 5 if you have a question. Have we spoken to all these people? Okay, it seems like we've just about spoken to most people who have had questions this evening. We'll take one more look. Here's one from Reading, Pennsylvania. All right. How are you? Can we help you today?
Hi, I have a question.
Hi.
I have seen
Sure.
Carnivora in a health food store, and I don't know if there were any instructions included other than, it wasn't in a box or anything. Are instructions included inside the bottle?
You know, let me say this. You know, the instructions that the FDA requires of us to put on the bottle don't really apply for what you're taking it for. So I'm going to say it's really not going to help you. But what you could do is you can call us and just ask us to email you the instructions if you purchase it from a health food store, and we'll just email it to you.
Okay, can I do that then?
You can.
Okay.
You can call us during business hours because we're going to sign off shortly, and we're open between 9:30 Eastern Time in the morning and 6:30 p.m. at night, Monday through Friday. We're open on Saturdays from 10:30 to 4:30 Eastern Time just as well.
Okay, thank you. I will do that. And
you're quite welcome.
Very, very enlightening, and thank you so much for all the information and for all that you're doing to help your fellow man. God bless you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate all the great comments tonight. Okay.
Good night.
We have bye-bye. Who else do we have? All right, we have Kay from Reading, California. Hi, Kay.
Hi. This has been a very inspirational program tonight. And,
Great. Wonderful to hear.
I have some problems with autoimmune, and then at one point it went to depleted, and then it went back up again. And so I have to be very careful, and I think probably most people who have problems with their immune system, you know, if it's not going to stay in the middle, there's a problem. And
well, you're in the right place because, as I mentioned, this does not boost the immune system. It doesn't apply to this product. Carnivora is an autoimmune product. If you look at the video from Dr. Rowan, he's going to tell you that. It's on our website, Carnivora.com, on the home page, the very first video. Can immune modulation heal the body? So it doesn't matter if you have an autoimmune condition. You can certainly use Carnivora without any danger whatsoever.
Well, that's things because there are some other natural things that boost the immune system, but it's
right. That's correct.
It's already more than you need. So
right,
really
and that's not what we're doing, and this really applies to what you're experiencing.
And I've been listening to it on Coast to Coast and all the other talk show people who advertise it, and I keep going back and forth. But I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so I'm gonna I keep looking for things that might help, and I see it, and I feel like Goldilocks, because most of the things that would work would suppress or do something. And
yeah, most things don't apply, but this is one of those products that is fine for what you're considering.
And I think it's good to let your body, you can't close off one thing, and sometimes you close off more than what you want, if you have...
Well, remember, we're introduced to allopathic medicine, which is not about being healthy or healing the body. It's about making money in the good old USA. It's pretty disgusting. I don't care what anybody has to say about it. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Right.
And the politicians, I don't think, are going to change it. I think we are.
Right. That's going to have to come from the people.
It's a consumer market.
Yeah.
Where we go.
Well, they're waking up a little slowly, more slowly than I'd like it to be, but at least it's happening.
Well, they say Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and keep up the good work. And I think I'm going to
Thank you very much.
be ordering it. Bye-bye.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Bye-bye. Okay. And we have Aubrey from New York. Are you with us, Aubrey?
I'm here.
Hi, how are you? Good.
Good. I just have a quick question.
Sure.
Are there any contraindications? I came across an article online about a doctor that used, I believe that you spoke on it briefly earlier on, that used Carnivora in tandem with hypothermia.
Yeah, well, there is no contraindication. No, there's no contraindication with Carnivora and anything on the planet. The problem was, when you use hypothermia, most of your patients are going to die because they take people within 1 degree of death, literally, to try to kill the disease. That's like an asinine pharmaceutical model that creates horror stories when it's purporting to try to help you. So it really had nothing to do with Carnivora. Carnivora has never harmed a single soul in its history. I defy anybody to find it. But if you utilize hypothermia, you just might die. And if you're taking Carnivora, they're going to tell you that did it, that might have done it. But that really had absolutely nothing to do with it whatsoever. I can tell you about that particular case. The person was going to die, and the family gave Dr. Keller permission to utilize hypothermia. I could not tell you if Dr. Keller warned them of the potential consequences of that kind of archaic, we'll call it treatment, because it just might kill you. And that's not the way to get rid of something. The way to get rid of something is to wake up your immune system, period. That's how you get rid of abnormal cells harmlessly. So I hope that answers your question, and that's the truth.
It absolutely does. I appreciate it. And one other quick question.
Sure.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with MMS. Have you ever heard of that before?
I heard of it. I have heard of it.
Okay. Well, I wanted to know if this could be used, if this product could be used with MMS as well.
Well, I said before that there are 0 contraindications when you use this product with anything. Okay. That includes toxic drugs or natural non-toxic foods of any kind. All this product is going to do is wake up your immune system to protect your body. End of story. So there is no contraindication with anything that you take with it.
Got you.
None.
Thank
none
you.
at all. You're quite welcome. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Okay, do we have anybody? Yes? Okay, we have someone from Akron, Ohio on their cell phone. Can we help you?
Yeah.
Hi.
How you doing? It's really nice to talk with you.
Thank you very much. Same here.
My grandson has a severe immune system, and we have been thinking about using Carnivora, but we were concerned where his problem is that I'm trying how to word this so I don't ask you a question I'm not supposed to ask you. Where this
We
is
don't
at,
mind you asking. We're just not going to be able to answer, remember.
Okay, I'm going to ask then, and maybe you could go. Maybe I can ask you in like a metaphor way. I'll say this: my grandson had his computer. The cord has a malfunction on it, and if that malfunction was taken care of, I heard that there's what do you call it? Oh gosh. That it can cause a blockage, and that could actually kill his computer.
Okay.
Would Carnivora help that?
Help what?
That get that blockage out of his cord.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
I'm just going to ask you. His brainstem cancer.
Yeah, well, we can't answer a question like that in this country. Are you kidding me? This is the United Drug States of America. Everything is pharmaceutically based, and we can't answer a question like that.
In a country
I'll put it in.
In a country that you could ask that question.
You can ask me any way you want. I'm not going to answer the question.
Okay,
but let me put it another way. People from other countries will order this product for something like that. That's all I can say.
That's great.
Can't mention anything else.
Thank you. You've answered my question. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, we have a caller from Highlands, North Carolina. Been waiting on the line for about 8 minutes. How can we help you today?
Call from Highlands, North Carolina.
Hello?
Is this the Highlands, North Carolina person?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
How can we help you today?
I just was wondering, is there any assistance for Carnivora for cancer?
That's funny. Were you listening the last half hour?
I'm not all of it, no.
Okay, well, unfortunately, we can't answer a question like that in the United Drug States. You know we live in a drug-controlled country, right?
Okay.
So we can't answer a question like that because we're not allowed to talk about what a product like this can do, natural or not, if it interferes with the profits of the medical industry. You know how it works here.
I understand. But it gets your body in balance, correct?
Yeah. Remember what we said before, that Carnivora addresses all abnormal cells?
Right.
What does that mean to you?
Well, cells that aren't functioning properly.
Right. Is that telling you what you want to know?
Yes, it does.
Okay, terrific. I think you get what I'm saying here. You're welcome. Bye-bye. Okay. All right. We're going to be able to take maybe one or two more calls. We have a caller from Bloomington, Illinois.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for being with us today. How can we help you?
So I have a question. Like when plants are being raised, do you use pesticides and things like that on the plants that would then later kind of filter into?
I'm having a lot of trouble hearing what you're saying. Can you back off away from the phone a little bit, maybe?
Okay, I'm wondering, do you use pesticides or things like that when you're growing your plants?
Did you hear that? Would you try that again? Sorry. Hello? We're not hearing you clearly enough. Could you try that again?
Okay, I'm wondering, do you use pesticides when you're growing your plants, or would those end up in your mix?
Oh, no, of course not. We don't touch anything that's toxic to the body. There are 0 pesticides. This product contains 17 naturally occurring compounds that are part of the Dietary muscipula plant, which is what Carnivora is. So these 17 compounds of the plant are completely natural. And yes, we've heard the poison ivy jokes, and not everything natural is going to be good for the body, but this is one of those plants that is. If you go to our website and you look at the link that says, what is Carnivora, those 17 compounds have definitions with far-reaching implications of what they do in the human body. And you can get a really good idea of just how wide spectrum this product is. So no, we don't use pesticides or anything like that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I think we've covered all the bases tonight. Call us at 1-866-836-8735 or go to our website at carnivora.com, carnivora.com. I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and we hope we made a difference in this last hour and a half. So thank you very much, and we'll be doing this again, and we won't be waiting a year this time. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Take care now. Bye-bye.